Good afternoon. It's September 29, 2024. We're critiquing the news. The article on your screen is from the Sunday Mail. It's titled, "It's No Holiday at Home," and it focuses on the increase in costs of taking a hotel room in Queensland and in Australia. So Queenslanders are paying 30% more to holiday in their own state, and the article goes into quite some detail to show how much costs have increased since 2019, and we all know what happened in 2020 and beyond. So in Brisbane, the average daily rate for a hotel is up 46% from $219 from 2019 figures to $228 in June this year for one room for one night. The article goes into some great detail about new hotels opening up and their prospects for their future, and the comparison of price per square metre for hotel rooms. But nowhere in the article does it say why we've got this inflation. And as we've discussed in this video series, the reason for inflation is 100% of the time the government. Only the government can create inflation. The voters can't create inflation. Corporations can't create inflation. Only the government can create inflation, because what inflation is an indication that the currency has devalued, that your dollar no longer buys what it used to in earlier times. And a study I was looking at just this morning says that inflation in the period of the Biden-Harris administration in the US has been 20%, averaged across the full range of goods and services that they assessed, which obviously was far more complete than the cherry-picked items that the government itself uses in its calculations. And of course the government always shortens the time frame and says, there's been 2.3% inflation in the last 12 months, but that doesn't factor in the 4% in the year before, and the 6% in the year before, and the 10% in the year before, and that all adds up. So the inflation came about because of the government squandering our wealth and not making any effort whatsoever to cut its costs. Now, who have we had in government while this has been going on? We've had the Labor Party and the Liberal Party. The Liberals were in power from 2020 to 2022 at the federal level, and they borrowed $500 billion, and that started this massive inflationary cycle. Then you had the Labor Party come in and ramp up the Liberals' already excessive immigration intake, which didn't help because that increased demand, and that also had an effect on inflation. The only way we're going to get prices stable is to get the ALP and the LNP out of our parliaments, starting with the state government next month, and then when the federal election comes around somewhere between next month and next May, we've got to get them out too. We've got to flush them down the toilet. We've had enough of them marching in lockstep with the World Economic Forum and the United Nations and ignoring the will of the Australian voters, implementing the agenda of unelected foreigners. It's not okay. People are waking up to it. It's time we put a stop to it. It means changing our voting habits. Let's do it.